Don't look now, Bears fans, but Caleb Williams is showing signs of growth. I know the haters don't want to hear that, and they don't want to believe it. Let's talk about it here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Let's talk about the quarterback, the oh-so-polarizing Caleb Williams, who is under the microscope 24/7, 365. Ben Johnson, multiple times this week, has expressed his pleasure with his improvement and his overall process. Declan Doyle did on Thursday, and even some people on the outside are starting to see that the quarterback actually is taking some positive steps. Here's what Ben Johnson had to say in his last press conference. He said he took a big step from week 1 to week 2. I'm expecting the same from week 2 to week 3. His approach to the game right now is what it needs to be. He's coming in and doing the work. Eventually, these results will speak for themselves, talking about wins and losses. And, I just did an exercise like, okay, obviously completely different offense circumstances. Let's not just compare week 1 to week 2. Let's compare year over year, weeks 1 and 2 last year to weeks 1 and 2 this year. Okay, weeks 1 and 2 last year, 37 to 66, 40 of 65. Not crazy more accurate, but a little bit more accurate. And remember, the opponents last year, the Titans, who were horrible, and the Texans, very good defense. So obviously one tough opponent, one not so tough. Yardage, much more this year. You're getting much more bang for your buck on completions, over 10 yards per completion. Total touchdowns to interceptions. 4 this year, 1 interception last year, 0 total touchdowns passing or rushing, 2 interceptions. 1 of the 4 touchdowns this year was rushing. Just a little note there. Quarterback rating last year, 53, well below average. This year, 89.1, kind of like average. If you're right around 85 to 90 average, maybe a tick above average, but you'd like to be 90 plus. And he scrambled better this year. And I would just say the eye test, he looks better to start this year compared to last year. Last year, first year on an offense. This year, first year on an offense. And I think what stands out the most is just he looks better and more comfortable in the pocket. And that is where he needed to grow the most this offseason. There's a lot of areas of growth. He's nowhere near a finished product. No one is saying that. But you're not being objective if you're saying he's not improving. Not just from week 1 to week 2, but from the start of last season to the start of this season. Like, there are clear signs of growth. Now, is he where he needs to be as a number 1 overall pick? No. Like, you take a guy number 1 overall, you're expecting at least a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But that doesn't always come right away. And for most guys, it takes a little bit of time, if not a lot of time. It's 2 games into a new offense, and I see a guy who's playing better just from week 1 to week 2 this year, but also start of last year to this year. I see a better quarterback so far, which has me excited and has given me some hope amidst a not-so-good start for the team as a whole. Do you feel like Caleb Williams is improving? Because I do. I think the data shows it. I think the eye test shows it. The coaches who coach this player, and this is a coaching staff who does not blow smoke, they're saying it. I think he's improving. Type Y for yes. Type in for no if you feel like Caleb is taking positive steps. How about Dan Orlovsky? Listen, Dan Orlovsky, when he goes on to First Take and they ask him to kind of go hot takey, not really a fan. But for the most part, I like his quarterback breakdowns. And it's easy to make fun of this guy, and I have at times. He ran out of the end zone, all that stuff. But like, this is a guy that played in the NFL, knows what he's talking about on the whiteboard in the film study room. Dan Orlovsky, pretty strong defensive Caleb this week. He tweeted this out a couple days ago. Maybe I'm alone. Caleb played well in week 2 for the most part and definitely improved from week 1 to week 2 with a lot of the controllables. He's talking about line of scrimmage, pre-snap, the operation. I agree. I thought in week 2 that was much cleaner than it was in week 1. Dan added this as well. The tape says there was improvement from week 1 to week 2, talking about Caleb at Chicago Bears. On Get Up this morning, Dan Orlovsky on Caleb Williams. I need everyone to take a breath on Caleb Williams. Can we just give the young man until like November? We have to give him until November so we can actually evaluate if it's going to work or to see if there's signs of it working with him and Ben Johnson. It's the second week of the season in a new offense, and everyone is deciding right now if he's going to be the player that everyone wants him to be. No one hears that, quote, it's going to take time, it's going to take time. And listen, no one is more tired than me of hearing the word patience. This team is 15-38 under Ryan Poles. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020. But this kid is talented. we've seen improvements. Even the haters aren't being objective if they're saying he's not getting better. He's getting better. Is he where he needs to be? Not yet. But through 2 weeks of the season, he's playing at least like a serviceable starter. And I thought in week 2 he played like at least an above average starter in a game that got out of hand in the second half because the defense just could not stop a nosebleed. I'm tired of waiting too. But I'm not going to punt on Caleb Williams this early, 2 games into Ben Johnson, when we have seen clear signs of growth. They took him number 1 overall. It would be insane to punt on him this fast. Insane. Like that is behavior. That would be behavior of a franchise who's never had a franchise quarterback. Oh, wait, that's the Bears. So let's not do that. Be patient. Let's give this some time, please. I think it's worth seeing this out for, honestly, an extended time here when it comes to Caleb and Ben Johnson's partnership. Ben's happy what the growth is, wants to see more. We should all want to see more, but it's, Rome's not built in a day. Let's take the steps for what they are and hope that by the end of the season, we're in a much better place than when it started at the beginning. More to come when it comes to Caleb Williams and some things I've seen personally when it comes to his improvement. But first, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor. That, of course, is PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. It's great to have football back, and I'm firing off PrizePicks lineups all the time because of it. It's very easy to play PrizePicks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineups right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of your picks doesn't hit. For week 3, PrizePicks is offering a max discount for Patrick Mahomes of more than half a passing yard. I've used that in a 3-player lineup, as I also took Caleb Williams more than 218.5 passing yards. I also took more than 250.5 passing yards for Dak Prescott. $20 lineup to win $105. Of note, those max discount plays, the Patrick Mahomes more than half a passing yard, you can only use those in 1 lineup per week, so choose wisely. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, some positive signs that I have personally seen when evaluating Caleb Williams' play so far this season, and especially in week 2, just in comparison to week 1, better footwork, better base. What does that mean? Drop more crisp, and when he's delivering the ball, the base is just more balanced. And in week 1, on some of those off-target throws, I thought his feet got too spread out, and his feet weren't always pointed to where he was throwing the football. Like, it's just little shuffles in the pocket of where you're throwing the ball can make a big difference. And Caleb spoke about that this week. He said, obviously, footwork is up there with the top things to be accurate. That's huge for me, just being able to have my feet and eyes all tied together to be in rhythm with the routes and my wide receivers. Focusing on that each and every week is important. He said that was a clear area of focus between week 1 and week 2, because that was my biggest concern and complaint of his performance in week 1. Look, the processing, the progression through the reads, like that's coming along. Like, it's going to take time to get it where he's just, one of the best in the league at that, but the accuracy was concerning me because that was not an issue in college. We saw it at times this year. We definitely saw it in week 1. I thought he was much more accurate in week 2 against Detroit. 19 of 30, just under 65%, but that included 2 or 3 plays that probably should have been catches. He's probably more like 22, 23 of 30. I think his adjusted completion percentage in that game was in the mid-70s. So he definitely threw the ball with more accuracy, and I think the footwork and the overall base of when he's delivering the football were just in better spots. Number 2, the downfield accuracy, specifically deep ball, which per PFF is defined 20 air yards or more. Now, not every 20-plus yard throw in the air is a true go route deep ball, but it's a downfield pass. 4 of 10 this year, and believe it or not, 40% on 20-plus yard throws. That is well above average in any year in the NFL. I think average deep ball accuracy is in the 30s. So 4 of 10, good number there. And there's been a couple more that have been close. I think that deep end from Rome might have been 20-plus air yards that he dropped. So you're probably looking at more like 5 out of 10 there, which 50% is a great number on downfield throws. PFF passing grade on deep balls this year, 87 almost. very good. 4 big-time throws downfield as well. So, those are defined by PFF, tight windows, precise accuracy on downfield throwing, whatever you want to call it. Don't know specifically which those are. I could probably figure them out if I went through every throw that he's made this year, but he's got 4 of those on the deep ball. And let's just compare to last year. Under 27%, so he's 13+%. Small sample size, but that's an improvement. 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions last year. None of his touchdowns this year have been on deep balls. 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, but he got into trouble on the downfield passing last year. And his downfield PFF grade last year, 56.4. He's 30 points higher. Again, 2 games. No one's acting like all of a sudden he's mastered the deep ball, but improvement, right? That's the whole point of this conversation. He is improving. The deep ball is improving. He's tied for 15th in deep ball accuracy, so middle of the pack compared to last year where he was at or near the bottom in the NFL. That's a big jump from, the 30s to 15th. And then he's 10th in PFF grade on deep ball throws, 86.9, like I mentioned, which is 30 points higher. So good signs through 2 games. And then number 3, and this is probably arguably the most important one. I see a quarterback, for the most part, and, it's gotten away from him in both these second halves a little bit, but he's trusting the protection more, despite, by the way, the protection not always being great. Again, it's been better than last year, but not always being great. I see a guy climbing the pocket more. Sure, he's still bailing out some, and you want him to do that sometimes and, make those plays on the move. You think of that dart to Rome in week 1 on that opening touchdown drive. You don't want to eliminate that from his game, but hanging in there. You think of that just simple, shallow crosser to Rome last week. 6-man blitz. It gets picked up. He hangs in the pocket before he gets hit, delivers an accurate throw. Rome does the rest. Like, that's NFL quarterback. Hanging in there, even if you're under pressure or about to be, and delivering the football. Not saying it's perfect every play, but I don't see a guy who's as jittery in the pocket. I see a more comfortable player. Again, is any of this perfect? Is he a finished product? No, he shouldn't be a finished product right now. But I see a lot of different areas where he is growing, not only in comparison to last year, but just from one week to the next. Now, we got to see more of it, obviously, and hopefully that takes place this Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. If you're riding the Caleb train, I don't know if I accidentally put training. If you're riding the Caleb train, let's get the 18s in the chat. Let's show some support. He could be the guy, guys. I don't want to act like he is for sure. And, if I'm saying, hey, do I 100% believe he's going to be the guy? I don't think I could say that with 100% certainty, but I'm still confident this is going to work because I believe in his talent and I believe in Ben Johnson. I think this marriage can happen. But we have to give it time as fans, even if there's going to be bumps in the road, which the head coach has acknowledged there's going to be. So hopefully we get another good performance this week. Hopefully we get a W this week. That's what we're all starving for more than anything else. But I am hopeful for Caleb Williams' development so far in Ben Johnson's offense. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We will continue to pump out content on a daily basis here. Bear down.